Boom.
All right, let's talk about what Todd Monken said at his introductory press conference. He is still talking. We will do the full reaction tomorrow, but we're going to get some quick hitters, including the fact that Todd Monken said he'll call plays. But before we get into that part of it, I want to address some of what he said about, one, Jim Schwartz. A couple tweets here.
But I just teased.
It's called the Deep Tease Bowl. We're going to get to the call and play. It's not as juicy as what he said about Todd Monken.
Go ahead.
3 in a row from Mary Kay here, Steve. Take tag board. Browns Todd Monken says he had a chance to talk to Jim Schwartz, quote, and it's been a bitch to go against his defense.
I like the curse. I would like an F-bomb, but I'm okay with bitch.
He gave you one.
Yeah. Browns Todd Monken, when asked about his future, Jim Schwartz being the person in question, quote, it's a little inappropriate to comment on the outcome of his convo with Schwartz at this time. And then the most interesting one, he was asked about taking the job. Monken, quote, I didn't take this job because of Jim Schwartz. I took it because of the players. I didn't try to chip Jim Schwartz. I chipped Myles Garrett. He also said he was going to keep a lot of the scheme the same regardless of whether Jim Schwartz comes back or not, but that was the early indication.
Those are some interesting comments. To me, that sounds like Jim Schwartz is not going to be.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
He wouldn't have said that last comment.
Yeah. He was like, listen, man, listen, shout out to Jim Schwartz, but Myles Garrett is Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I agree with
pretty
him.
much what he said.
I may be on Jim Schwartz's side and understand why he's ticked, but ultimately you have to hire the guy you think is the best head coach. That's more important than the coordinators.
We said it over and over again.
And so if you thought Todd Monken was the best coach, okay, even if it costs you Jim Schwartz, so be it.
I think he does a really good job of. I think, again, this is using the media to your advantage.
Yeah.
He's specifically talking to Myles Garrett without saying nothing to Myles Garrett. He said, hey, listen, I know Jim Schwartz, you like him, that's your guy, he's a coach. But you Myles Garrett.
Yeah, you don't need him.
You can get 35 sacks by yourself. Don't think that you got sacks because of him. You got sacks because you're a good player, and I came here to coach you as a good player. We'll figure that out. So it puts the owners back like, hey, look, hey guys, I came here because of players, and I think that's instilling confidence in these dudes. Like, look, man, I know Jim was your man, but you guys been a good defense regardless of whether Jim Schwartz is there. And by the way, don't even worry about that. We can just cut, copy, and paste what he was running.
That's exactly what he said.
We're going to cut, copy, and paste that. Like,
listen, I studied this. We
got your defense. I was offensive coordinator going up against y'all, and I know it was working. And while you were sacking Lamar Jackson every play.
And so, obviously, that sounds pretty obvious. They'll be looking for a new DC.
Absolutely.
All right, next one.
Yeah.
These two get tied together. As you mentioned, Bull, he will call plays.
Yeah.
He was asked about the quarterback situation, and according to Mary Kay, Browns coach Todd Monken says it will still be determined who his Week 1 starting quarterback will be. He's excited to work with Shedeur Sanders and all the other quarterbacks, looking for the it factor, among other traits. And he was asked about what he wants to be known as, what he wants his offense to be known as, and he said, quote, a team that can score any way possible. So undetermined on the starting quarterback for Week 1. Wouldn't commit to anyone.
I mean,
not to be expected this early in the
process. Of
process.
course that's what he was going to – he was not going to commit to a
Are you surprised he's going
quarterback.
to call plays, though?
No.
What's that?
Are you surprised that
I'm
he's
not
going to call
surprised. I think I've come around and would rather the head coach not call plays after years of saying this is just the way it is. But, like, we're now seeing, I don't know. He's a veteran coach.
Mike McDonald calls his own defense.
Yeah.
Does Mike Vrabel call the defense?
I don't know.
With the
Vrabel does not call the defense. To my knowledge, he doesn't call the defense.
Sean McVay calls his offense.
There was a dude that they got that I think they were hiring from Baltimore, and it's like one of the analytics dudes.
Quarterbacks coach guy?
Nah.
No, Daniel Stern is his name.
So all he does is go around and tell you down distance what you should be like, time management, should you call a timeout here, what you should run in this. And so they got this guy, and I think they're going to bring him in, and he'll probably walk around and do with some of the clock management stuff. So
yeah, but every team probably has a guy like that.
I don't think the Browns had one.
Well, they probably did. They just didn't do a good job.
He's been with Baltimore. That guy's name's Daniel Stern, by the
Yeah.
way. He did the same thing in Baltimore last year, couple of years.
The Browns are one of, if not the most analytically based team. I'm sure they had a guy doing that. They just obviously didn't do a good job with it.
There you go. So
We'll
like
see
this
if
guy.
the Ravens, if they can do a better job with it now. Again, I'd rather him not call plays, but I get it. He's a veteran coach. He's getting his first opportunity.
And it's probably the reason they brought him here was basically what he said the offense was going to be.
Right. And who knows, the OC they've hired is, what's his name? The kid, he was also from Baltimore.
Schweitzer.
Travis
Schweitzer.
Maybe he turns the play calling over to him eventually, down the line.
As long as they score some points, I don't care who it is.
That ain't Switzer?
Yeah, it looks like it should be Switzer, but it's apparently pronounced
Jason
Schweitzer.
told us and Jason knows him, and he said it's Schweitzer.
It's
not
Schweitzer,
Switzer.
Yeah, we'll roll with that. Whatever they want to do, man.
Right.
Hey, if you're going to call plays and you're going to score points, I don't care who calling the plays. You really don't talk about who calling the plays until something bad or good
Right,
happens.
exactly. Isn't it funny that we assume it's Switzer, even though based on the pronunciation of the letter I, it should be Schweitzer?
Right.
Yes.
Another thing Monken
Yeah.
said, the version that you're getting of me now is a hell of a lot better than the one 15, 20 years ago. He was asked about his age when getting this head coaching job, and he said, sure.
Makes sense.
Paraphrasing, sure, I'm a little older than your usual first-time head coach, but
Yeah.
I'm ready for this now in ways I wouldn't have been earlier in my career, which,
All right, I'll buy that.
It's a nice spin zone. I can buy into that.
He was just here, 7 years ago when he said it was, what did he say about
Yeah.
a disaster?
Yeah, I don't know what it
whatever
yeah. He hated Freddie Kitchens.
Pretty much.
Everybody hated Freddie Kitchens pretty much, yeah. All right, Mike, anything else?
He's honored to be one of 32 as a head coach.
There you go.
Wow, glad we got that clip in.
Yeah, man. Listen, he was like, hey, I'm taking this job regardless. I don't know what y'all was talking about.
He said, and we're gonna. This is the topic tomorrow. We're gonna do our full reaction when you guys can actually listen to it. But
All right.
we're gonna talk about the fact that they've hired, I believe, 6 coaches now from the Baltimore staff as he assembles his staff.
Yeah.
Monken said his current focus is building, quote, an elite staff, but said there's no real timeline for finalizing it because he values a thorough process.
Oh, yeah, they definitely.
They've hired a lot of guys pretty quick on
They
the
definitely
offense.
about to get a new defensive coordinator now. He
Yeah.
said, I got
the
to
next
find
step.
Yeah, I got to find.
But
time
that's
on
a
that
decision you don't want to rush, sure.
one. Yeah. So
Especially on the opposite side of the ball because, he needs somebody that's going to call the plays. And
Well,
And-
OTA start next month? End of next month?
Is it really? The end of March?
I think. You start lifting.
You should know. You played in them.
I think you start lifting.
What
Looking
do
at
you
me
think?
like I would know better than you. You're the
start
one who
lifting
did
and
these
you
things.
lifting in meetings.
Okay.
All right.
What do you think the first question he was asked was? His very first question as the Cleveland Browns head coach.
did y'all want to draft Shedeur in Baltimore?
He was
Yeah, you
asked
didn't
that.
put that clip up,
Jim
Mike.
Schwartz.
He,
He
didn't
just-
want
no,
to
he-
talk about that.
No, he said he wouldn't get into it. They just said I'm not getting into
So
it.
what was the no, I bet you the first question was like an oddball question.
Nope, it was about Shedeur.
Oh,
Will
okay.
Shedeur be your starting quarterback?
That was the first question?
According to Zach Jackson.
Okay. And then his exact answer to that was
What we read, what Mary Kay said,
Okay.
he's excited to work with other quarterbacks. He danced around. He didn't answer the question.
He ain't even gonna answer that question in camp. He ain't gonna answer that question until
the Browns
2 weeks before the game.
Brown-
Is it true that he cried?
No, the Browns don't have a quarterback
Yes.
right now that's proven he should be a starter right now in the NFL.
It
So-
would be at this point it would be unwise at all different levels. And Andrew Berry already said this. It would be unwise for them to come in and say this guy's completely the starter.
Yeah, it would be insane.
For what?
No,
Like
yeah.
we don't even know.
But it's not because he's just saying it. It's true.
Well, yeah, like you got to come in. Like he hasn't. He needs to see him perform under what he wants him to perform. He ain't even seen these dudes play. I mean, you see him on tape.
And again, I may say it's crazy, but I don't think it's impossible that Deshaun Watson's the starter week 1.
I would lean towards it.
You leaning towards Deshaun Watson being the starter week 1?
Yes.
If you're Todd Monken and you think you know why he's been broken the last few years and you think you can fix it, Shedeur Sanders, I'm confident in saying, I don't know what he's going to be, but it would be an upset if he were better than what Deshaun Watson was at his best.
Yeah,
I
Deshaun
think
Watson's
there's
a top
almost no
3
chance
He's a top 5
Shedeur
quarterback at
Sanders'
his
best is better than what Deshaun Watson's best was. Now, I doubt that Deshaun Watson could ever get back to that, but if Todd Monken believes he could, then he could play.
Here's the reason why I think Shedeur
Can you
Sanders-
imagine, by the way, if we have to have a conversation at the end of this year, should the Browns re-sign Deshaun Watson?
I think
It's a possibility.
Go ahead.
I think the reason why Shedeur Sanders has, in my mind, why he has a leg up is usually, generally speaking, right? When you come in and you meeting a coach, both of them was on vacation. Both of them was in Europe. One of them came back early, and the other one still is in Europe. Now, you can say that don't really mean nothing, but I know how it is, because I remember telling Type, I said, listen, man, you think he's already talked to the quarterback? He said this was probably the first person he talked to. And I was like, yeah, I guess so too. Now, for me, him coming back early from Fashion Week to go meet the coach in the office, I think that's something to be said for it. Not meaning that Deshaun Watson can't. I mean, Deshaun Watson at his highest, he was a top 3 quarterback. I think that what they're going to do and what Todd Monken would be smart with is I want the best Deshaun Watson to show up. You know why? Because that's going to push the Shedeur Sanders. Like the
best Deshaun Watson shows up, Shedeur Sanders on the bench.
I mean, I don't know about that.
How old is
that.
How old is Deshaun? Or excuse me, Derek.
I don't know about that.
He's only 30.
Would you straighten him out here, please?
I don't know
What about
that.
which part?
I said, if Deshaun Watson is back to being his best, Shedeur Sanders is on the bench.
I don't know about that, man.
If you talking about 2020 pre-COVID Deshaun?
I mean, if he's Houston, Deshaun,
yeah.
I mean,
Wow, what are you talking about?
like
Deshaun Watson was an MVP candidate.
I think it's funny how everybody got the number 4. Now, they wanted him to cut 4 or 5 days ago.
They sure did. No, it was. He's got to be out of the building.
He's getting out the building.
I still want
They
him
want him out the building.
That's not what I said. I would still want him
to being the
I
starter.
think there's less than a 1% chance he could ever be what he was.
You ain't see that zip on the ball?
But if Deshaun Watson somehow is the guy he was, he's the starter. End of conversation.
Hey,
Topic for another day. Does 2020 Deshaun Watson make this current Browns team a playoff team?
Listen, you see,
They didn't make that Texas team.
Boy, they good, boy. Them boys good.
Yes.
Them boy good.
Listen.
Listen. I'm all for it. I can't wait. This is why when I be telling y'all this is box office, we're gonna be watching every single week.
But I don't agree that Shedeur has a leg up because I'm not even sure. Like I think there's a decent chance that there's a quarterback not on the roster is just as likely to start as Shedeur Sanders.
I don't know about that.
I think if these 3 quarterbacks are back, which I don't think will happen, then I would agree that Shedeur has a leg up.
I think if you was to poll the audience, we could even do that. Who's the odds-on favorite to be weekly on
Shedeur Sanders.
But we have a biased audience.
Oh, because of the Shedeur fan base?
Yes.
I mean,
well, just in general.
Look. We didn't have Deshaun Watson here for a long time.
You want to see the poll to see how many people pick Dylan Gabriel.
Nobody's picking Dylan Gabriel.
Now look,
he would get 3%.
I told y'all, I said, oh no, they ain't cutting Deshaun Watson. He on the roster. But if you telling me, they done told me from what the owner them did, from what the general manager done said, what Todd Monken said, and the timing, I think you at about, right now, if you ask me, it's an 86.5% chance that Shedeur Sanders is the week 1 starter.
Oh, 86?
86?
Yeah,
I got 95.
86.5.
What?
95.
Yeah, 86.5.
Yeah.
I got it at 40%.
95.
86. And the only reason it's at 86 is I'm just going to say, I'm going to put the 5% chance Deshaun Watson from Clemson show up. But in terms of that, 86. I
got a text from Sean King saying G. Bush is out of his mind.
Hey, man, Sean King,
did
man.
he say that for real?
I texted him on Friday, and I said, Sean, I got G. Bush and a lot of fans saying Shedeur Sanders right now is better than Jameis Winston.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, you guys are crazy, out of your mind.
That's his man. That's his
You guys
man.
are out of your
I
mind.
mean, I didn't see Jameis Winston go 2-7 here. Where'd he go 2-7?
Now we're judging quarterbacks by win-loss record when it's convenient.
Hey, man.
You know who number
PJ
one.
Walker.
Come on now.
That's your guy.
Phillip.
All right,